All right, today what we're going to look at, we're going to be adding to our work of posterior chain development, that backside. So we're going to make this quick and simple today. We're just going to add lunges in for this video, but I'm just going to show you several variations. So you don't just have to do your standard forward or reverse lunge that you may always be used to or doing at the gym. But today's video, again, we're going to look at variations. So with that variation of a lunge, you can do a lunge in any type of clock fashion, meaning kind of the numbers on a clock. So you can do a forward lunge, which would be your 12 o'clock, or a reverse lunge, which would be a 6 o'clock. You can go lateral to 3 and 9, but you can also go into some diagonal work, lateral like we just talked about. You can also do some little reach behind lunge, a little step forward lunge, and again, the straight ahead lunge, you're just going to drive straight ahead. Reverse lunge, just right back. So you can go all around that clock doing all types of variations of lunges. But for today's purpose, I'm going to show you three, which the first one we just talked about is just that standard forward reverse lunge, and how we can kind of change that guy up to make that a little more interesting from time to time. But then we'll look at a rear elevated lunge or split squat, Bulgarian split squat, rear elevated lunge, and a front elevated lunge, which really gets into that hamstring glute complex. So again, looking at that standard lunge that we typically always see or always perform when we go to the gym, you can go with a barbell, so just straight up barbell lunge. Again, you can alternate however you want to do that. You can go lateral, you can go reverse lunge with that guy. Looking at the dumbbell lunge in the same fashion. So forward, reverse lunge, same fashion that we just talked about. You can go lateral. When I go lateral, what I like to do is I like to straddle that knee when I have people go lateral. Same concept, lateral to both sides. So that's with the dumbbell. I'll get a lot of people that'll say, well, I don't have dumbbells, I don't have barbells. We've seen this power band in quite a few videos. This power band can be utilized for a lunge as well. So all you got to do is step on that guy. We're going cross body with it. So what I mean by that is, for the cross body, it's on my right foot, left shoulder. So, and all you got to do with that guy now is just down and up. Right there's your resistance. That power band provides that resistance as you're doing that lunge. Right there. So that's your little cross body lunge or power band lunge. So that's your first variation. So we looked at your standard lunge, just different ways of changing that up. Your second variation is bringing in a box, getting that rear elevated lunge. So I'm throwing that foot up on that box and got that rear foot elevated. We're getting down into that lunge and up. So getting down and up. A little more quad centric on this guy. Tend to use it with some quad work, but by doing that lunge, we are getting a little hamstring glute load in there. Like to do that guy, add it to change it up when we're doing some lunge work. The last lunge that I want to look at is a front foot elevated lunge. Have aerobic step, get you a couple of risers on there. You want to get nice and deep, so we really load and put a stretch on that hamstring glute area. So looking at that, making sure that that whole foot is on the box. We want to make sure that heel's on the box, so when we drive, we can drive down through that ankle, through that heel, making sure we get the glute hamstring fully engaged. If you're doing it and you got that toe off, you're going to be doing a lot of quad work. You're using that calf and quad a little bit more than we like. So staying with that foot on the box, going into that reverse lunge, getting nice and deep so you can see that hip is lower than that knee. So we're really putting a stretch, putting a load on that hamstring glute and drive up. So you can kind of do it static if you want to. You will not get full extension of that knee unless you kind of come up a little bit. But then you can also come up. And then a lot of times what I like to do is I like to drive that opposite knee forward or through when we do it. You just got to have good balance. And if you've got a barbell on your back and you're holding dumbbells, you got to make sure you have good balance. But I like to get that full extension of ankle, hip, and knee. Getting that full extension right there. A lot of times when we come up, if we don't do that, we'll kind of shortchange and we won't get full extension of that knee and hip. I like to drive all the way through so we can get the glute hamstring fully engaged in that front foot elevated squat. Boom, right there. So that is the three. You got your standard lunge, which you can do in any variation, whether it's forward, reverse, lateral, diagonals, in front, behind. You can do any type of variation to change things up for you in your leg work day. A rear foot elevated split squat or Bulgarian split squat, however you've seen it listed. And then we've got the front foot elevated squat, again done with dumbbells, barbells, really putting a load on that hamstring and glute. So again, look back at all those other videos we've talked about posterior chain. You can really start developing routine to strengthen that posterior chain if you look back at all those other videos listed here on the YouTube channel. And then you can even look back, there's core work, stretching. So there's lots of videos there to put together a really comprehensive program. So check those out and then check back. We'll be adding more again next week.